Hello class, in this video I'll be showing you how to find a rule for a piecewise defined function. Let's begin. Alright, so in this example, the piecewise defined function has three pieces. Piece 1, piece 2, and piece 3. Each piece is going to have its own rule and domain. And I'm going to start by finding the rule and the domain for piece 1. If you look at the coordinates in piece 1, notice that negative 1/3 is the reciprocal of negative 3, and negative 1/2 is the reciprocal of negative 2. So I can say that piece 1 is the reciprocal function y is equal to 1 divided by x. To find the domain, notice how the function travels to the left forever, and there's an upper bound at negative 2. Now negative 2 is part of the domain because there's a closed circle at negative 2, negative half. So the domain for this function is going to be x is less than or equal to negative 2. Okay, for piece 2. Piece 2 is an example of the square function. Y is equal to x squared. The square function has a domain with a lower bound at negative 2 and an upper bound at 1. Now negative 2 is not part of the domain because there is an open circle at negative 2, 4. 1 is part of the domain because there's a closed circle at 1, 1. So the domain is negative 2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 1. Okay, piece 3 is a horizontal line. And to find the rule for the horizontal line, we're going to need the slope and a point on that line. Recall that the slope of a horizontal line is 0. And I'm going to choose the point 2, 3. And now I'm going to use point slope to find the rule. So y minus 3 is equal to 0, x minus 2. So that y minus 3 is equal to 0. And the rule is y is equal to 3. For the domain, notice there's a lower bound at 1, and the graph extends to the right forever. Now 1 is not part of the domain because there's an open circle at 1, 3. So the domain for this piece is x is strictly greater than 1. Okay, so now that we have a rule in the domain for each piece, I'm going to put all of them together to create the rule for the entire piecewise defined function. So we have f of x is equal to 1 divided by x if x is less than or equal to negative 2. F of x is equal to x squared if negative 2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to 1. And f of x is equal to 3 if x is strictly greater than 1. And we are done.